You know what, everyone? I don't think this is a spider web. I think it's that fungus we saw on the other trees in my video, and it expands to become this. So I think that's a fungus, man. I thought it was a spider web, but I saw it like up there on the same trees that I remember they all had that brown fungus. I made it like short called weird fungus. And it's like this brown bubbly fungus, and then it must turn into this. And they're all these same type of tree. I don't even know what type of tree this is. A beech type of beech tree. No fucking idea. But this is the one that I'm pretty sure, or is this the more tree version? Just trying to think if this is the exact one. It might just be one that's grown really straight up, but I think it's more of a tree than a bush. And it's the bush version. But I think those leaves, they're the same. Yeah, they look the exact same. You can actually use it as soap. But the sprawling version, that's not the tree, has it more. I know that. I know it has more saponins just from using it over the years and brushing in the bush, brushing past them all, and playing with leaves like a weirdo. Anyway, so I was thinking about Mgtow, and I was thinking about, might have to get serious, but sometimes, I tell you, right? Sometimes a hottie comes in your view like that, and you're like, oh my god, fuck Mgtow. And you start simping and want to nail it, right? Especially after you've been to the gym. I got my testosterone up. It's just like, oh, I just need to nail something right now and leave my sperms in there. I'm just saying what I naturally feel. That's the body, right? Tell you what. But you know Mgtow, men going their own way. Have you heard of that movement? That's what I'm talking about, Mgtow. I call it Mgtow because we're towing their ass. And the point is, if we ever get serious on it, we'll figure that out. So the secondary feminine matrix receives all of its advancement via spiritual ideas, which come from one node or one person originally. Someone has a funny idea. OPs try and steal it, right? So on and so forth. But that's how it works. All ideas are spiritual. I'm not talking about mishmashing what's in the world already. That's not a fucking idea. That's what these organic portals will confuse them. They'll be like, oh, I had an idea of an invention. Yeah, and you based it half off something else. It's not a new idea. We're talking about actual ideas. They're spiritual. An actual thought. Because you saying anything on a societal level is not you thinking at all. It's all been said a zillion times. A zillion, trillion, billion times, hasn't it? You think you're saying, hi, how are you? No, that's programming. So anyway, that's my point. Like, new ideas are spiritual, and they're all adding to this place. They take the ideas, right? It's often a way to order the environment. It's a good example. But anyway, or do something with the environment. But anyway, not to get off track, like, all ideas are essentially spiritual. Like, not all this mishmash of fucking little half invention from looking at someone else's stuff in the world, right? Because it's the end of history. It's all been done before as well. Have you looked into like how many inventions have failed? It's crazy. But then there's actually a lot that have had their ideas rehashed. Like, a lot of musicians do rehashing of songs, right? So to be a good philosopher, I've got to come with like something original. That's what I try and do in every video, right? So yeah, I was just thinking about Mgtow. If we push it to the nth degree, we'll really become different men than the bitch men. We'll really become a lot different. I think even fairly quickly. And it's really about dropping norms, a lot of it, if you notice. But then you have to go to the harsh end, which is what I want to talk about. You don't hang out with a bitch just to fucking hang out with a girl. You know what I mean? You don't hang out with a girl just to hang out with a girl. They're going to try and groom you. They're going to try and hone you, polish the diamond. They won't fucking shut up about it. That's what they do. They're, woman head of creation. She wants to get the Ken doll and play with the Ken doll and make him look a certain way and this and that. And you'll notice often there's a lot of conformity in it. And what are styles, fads and fashions, fades? It's all a waste of time, in my opinion. We should be looking at the greats who, you know, came with, like Victor Schauberger, which came with, you know, implosion drive technology ideas. Fuck Elon Musk. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and the electric car got killed like 20 years ago. Why are we all like, yay, Musk? And he's about to put brain chips in you. That's how fucked up everyone is, man. Like, it's a perfect example. I don't even know if I can think of a better example right now. Think about it. The electric car got killed, stolen, all that shit a long time ago. Could have had it a long time ago. And, you know, some, whatever, decades later, you have this guy that comes out of nowhere, has the look of like some sort of fucking secret society guy as well, in my opinion. I won't go further into it. I've talked about that sort of stuff before. And then, right, there's a lot of videos showing that he's not really that smart as he acts. If I had his information, I would be more intelligent. I'd be saying more intelligent things. I mean, you know, some of his stuff's right, but it's just because it's easy to see. Robots are going to take over. But that shit's easy to see. If you don't think so, you must be the moron. And I think there's a lot of them, and that's why I call them morons. Ron was a famous clown from on every corner restaurant, wasn't he? With red hair. World's most famous clown. Anyway, get it? Morons. And then I say the field bosons are like, you know, thick particle physics particles. They say the Higgs boson field sits on top of the quantum field, so I call it the Higgs boson and moron field. Right? And they only get things sideways, right? The quantum action, they don't have the quantum body or the quantum mind, and they don't get spiritual ideas, right? They don't get funny ideas, organic portals. Maybe at the crazed height of a psychedelic trip, but I don't know, I haven't tested it on a pure NPC. Maybe they can't even then. Because that's when you should be getting a big fish. But I suspect they can't even get a little fish there. Because they don't know how to fish, right? They're just pre-programmed bot people. It's the best way to describe them. That's not even being slang. That's not slang or anything, that's like descriptive language. This is why I started using the word bot, because I've for a long time thought this place is, you know, machine. Everything's mechanical. Nature works like a machine. It's mechanical. If you look at science, biology videos inside the human body cells, stuff is going along conveyor belts and shit. It looks like a fucking machine. It's mechanical. That's your human body avatar. Just because it's soft, people don't think it's a machine. Well, you know, the robots are going to come in and blast that idea, you know, out of the court in like half a second. As soon as they get past the clunky metal robot stage and we start getting into polymerization and stuff, you know. And that idea that uncanny valley will be there, where you notice the human body, you know what I mean, as a machine. At that point, you can't not realize it then, but that's when the stupidest idiot comes in at the end, right? When it's too late, you know what I mean? Hold on, gotta time my bicycle. But yeah, I just found you can't be hanging around women and like not become a bitch man. Like, if you're like choosing to do that and without, you know, getting aroused, you're dead. You're a spiritless human, man. These people are probably all going to get prostate cancer. Shit like that. Because they don't fucking have any CNS arousal, which is spiritual, because Kundalini. Well, you all say it's spiritual, and yeah, I'd agree. You're starting to get into the quantum underworld. It's called telesentient spinal fluid. You know, you start getting into the cosmic realizations and all of that, how all that works. I'm not going to go through everything. but I've shown videos on the channel, I've spoken it myself. Anyway, so they don't even get that. I mean, that means you're dead, man. You're like turned off. So they don't get turned on because they're already off. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, if you don't get a reaction from a girl, there's something fucking wrong with you, man. You're a man. It's a very natural thing to get like a sudden reaction to them, right? I'm not saying everyone who does is not an organic portal, but the NPC dull ones and the real bitch men, they're just like turned off all the time. And the women feel safe around them. They don't feel safe around a real man. I've noticed. Only OPs. They don't feel safe around us because, you know, they've got the AI in their mind. And the reason we're targeted is because we're freely moving and free coding the environment. We're not a pre-programmed program moving straight and narrow. We're like this. Organic portals see that in us, right? We move differently, spatially, and everything, bro. We think and talk and act differently, right? So these spiritless humans, man, like that's what I'm saying. They're like dead. They're the walking dead, right? We've called them that for ages. What's wrong with me reiterating it? Everybody said that for a long time, and I can't fucking say it now. Come on, see what I'm saying? So, like, if we push Mgtow properly, they'll only be coming to the real men for sex. See what I'm saying? Epiphany, brah. Yeah, man. Because they're fucking shit and they're dead, and I've had plenty of girlfriends tell me how shit these NPC dudes are at fucking, to be frank. Remember my last girlfriend, Pleiadian Mystique, that YouTuber? She was, that was a girl I knew from high school and stuff. She was, and you know, we've grown up, she's somehow become spiritual as well. After the eschaton, I don't care, because at least she, you know, had her awakening, so to speak. Great. It's better than nothing. But yeah, she would say even, yeah, some of them, like, I just had to learn how to ride them to make myself come because they couldn't do it. I'm like, holy shit, man, really? You've got guys out here who are like 20s and 30s, and, you know, I won't reveal my actual age, but she would have been with 20s and 30s and maybe 40-year-olds, I don't know. But point is, all these, like, she was saying a lot, like it was a trend. I could tell the way she was talking, right? And other girls have said it to me. I'm just saying, other girls have said it too. But yeah, she's like, well, they can't do very good, basically. I'll save you the exact words of everything, but yeah, I already kind of said it, I think. And yeah, so I'm like, you know, I'm kind of just amazed, because, I mean, I could boast right now, obviously, but I don't think I need to boast. I think you get the idea. If I was amazed, that's not my story. I'm not that bad if I was amazed that other people couldn't get her off, because it's not that difficult to get a girl off. Like, it can be, I've got to say it can be. They're a bit fucking temperamental, I'll tell you what. Too much programming in the way. Sometimes they're looking for something specific. So yeah, it can be a bit of a problem. I'll backpedal there a little. But yeah, it's not the fucking hardest thing in the world. You know what I mean? To be that shit. That she was saying that a lot of them are like that. It just, what we were talking about was the NPC theme surrounding that as well. So it's very interesting. I was like, wow, okay, so we have more, you know, confirmation of all the theory we've been pushing for years on this channel about organic portals, NPC consciousness, that kind of thing, right? And yeah, if you're doing something and simulating it and you're not feeling it, you're going to be bad at it. Do you see what I'm saying? When I'm with a girl, man, I'm feeling her. I'm not you know, sometimes you get into simulation mode while you're thinking for a couple of seconds, but you know what I mean. These dudes just that permanently in simulation mode. You see what I'm saying? It's like, because when you're spiritless, you don't feel. I'm not saying they don't have feelings. I don't know, some of them I'm questioning if they even have empathy or emotion at all. some of them like emotional flatlining. But yeah, there's a big range of, you know, soul people organic portals as well, because it's about if you have a light body, not a soul. They're two different things. That's what I'm saying. The soul database can be infiltrated by a spirit. Spirits incarnate on behalf of soul. So it never was about, that's why I always used to get up at those other channels. They're all like soul this, soul that, and I was from the start thinking, no, it's about spirit, right? The higher mental spirit light body. That's why they don't think for themselves, because it's a mental spirit light body, right? That's why they don't have visions, because there's no multi-dimensional visions or code passing or higher light passing, P-A-R-S, to pass, not just pass, to parse code, right, to change something into something else, so you can read the information in your language, from cosmic explosion or whatever to English language, you know what I mean? So vibrationally things have got to match. And anyway, I'll save the whole thing of the pineal thing I always talk about. Pineal's a gland, it's not even a chakra or an energy center. I remember during 2012 a lot of people writing articles about the third eye, pineal. I'm like, what? It's a fucking gland, you moron. Like, maybe they read Descartes, and you see what I mean? They don't know for themselves, so they were just simulating it. Oh yeah, pineal, third eye. Everyone was talking about pineal calcification and third eye, but that's the lower end of it. If it's calcified, yeah, you can't spin the crystals. You get piezoelectricity, and then you get these emotionally dead people. It's like they have a hard time smiling. It's like, you know, girls have said to me, you've got like quite a smile. It's because my smile has life in it. I now know that. I didn't used to know that. I just thought I was cute. You know what I mean? The girls are telling me, oh, you know, got a cute smile and this and that. But now I understand it's the life and the not just chi or prana, but all the energies, right? Multi-dimensional energies in your system, from light body through the glandular system, right? Because pineal's a fucking gland. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. People used to go on about it like, oh, the third eye, it's a gland. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, so they don't understand the whole system. But look, my point is like the simulating part. If we want to get rid of that, pushing Mgtow to the nth degree, N stands for no number, right? Infinity number. If we push it to the nth degree, we'll get change. We will definitely get change from the organic portal men. They'll have to come and conform to us, but yeah, it won't be easy, and there's more of them and less of us. But due to the standard that we set with it, they'll automatically fall in line, because they do anyway, because they're spiritless humans, and that's their function. That's all they can do. They like women. This is a secondary feminine matrix. Woman is head of creation, so she spreads out the creation. But you notice, like, all the men came with the really, really fucking deep ideas. Go and check. Go and fucking check. Anyway, so it's called the primary masculine spiritual matrix and the secondary feminine matrix, right? We're all born in the body here as a female until week 13 testosterone shot. Then I get a penis on my body in the fetus, you know what I mean? I get gonads. You know what I mean? So that's why we know that shit is true. I don't want to bring in the male and female symbol. I didn't make it up. Anyway, look, what I'm saying is that they act, you know, some of you in the Mgtow movement know this already, like the organic portal spiritless men, they act like women. They get heated like women real quick. They can't control their emotions and think about. Thought gets stopped. Emotion is lower. I call emotion 4D, so when you're doing Kundalini, you're helping your emotional body and emotional state. Anyway, so, and you want to clear that even with fifth dimensional chi and, you know, Diksha, right, and Reiki, and then Prana, which is like implementing your will and your mind. That's 10th dimensional. So anyway, look, back to what I was saying, like, you know, the bitch men or the organic, the spiritless humans, right, that are males, they act like females, right? This is no secret. A lot of you in the Mgtow movement like see this and know this. So what I'm saying is, like, the way to heal this, right, I'm a shaman, so the way to heal this via Mgtow movement, I'm just trying to speak to you lot because I've thought about other ideas and other ways to heal this, but here's one really good way: Mgtow movement and pushing it to the nth degree. And look, there's been a whole thing about no-fap. My point is, they'll have to fall in line if you set the higher standards, like only we can, because we're the best. We're the concrescence. A spirited man is the concrescence of humanity, right? These bitch men, they act like females. They're group energy. It's like why sometimes they can't face me alone. I'm not going to name names on this video, but you know what I mean. You know, if we want to change, like, this whole, you know, we've obviously got like something going on. There's the transgender, the feminization of society, which is frequency control implemented ad infinitum, at crazydom. And you know, the transgender movement was definitely being pushed in certain places, so that was very interesting. It's definitely being pushed, right? I think we can all agree. If we've researched into it, you found that it was being pushed. Not just it sprung up happily and like a flower. Yeah. There's social engineering, you know what I mean, going on. And then there's the sperm count drop. That's real. I talked about that 10 years ago. No, 13 years ago, when I first created Conscious Zine. One of the first things in there was called a conspiracy page, and I found out information that sperm rates have been dropping. What have I been saying? It's the end of humanity, end of human history. Robots are coming and shit. They don't need us to like copulate and shit properly, right? But I'm saying there's a social engineering agenda. That's a proper thing going on, because there's bloodlines in this world. They're trying to establish their bloodlines, these 13 bloodlines, the demon talking families, you might call them. Right? They're trying to, you know, repower and resituate their bloodlines, right? That includes dragon family and stuff like that. But anyway, I think you know the other people I'm talking about. Anyway, so what was I saying? So yeah, look, since they act like women, right, the energy of a woman is receptive. In other words, it falls in place with following, not having, you know, the directive as masculine directive. Because you'll notice that, you know, the seed nature, a seed goes into something, yeah? It's just like an idea penetrates into this place. When you have an idea, for a female, she must be in touch with her higher self, which is masculine animus, like Carl Jung used to talk about. For the male, it's, you know, my higher self is feminine more than my lower self. It's more masculine, right? So it's vice versa for men and females. But, so you might get confused and think, oh, so these guys are all in touch with their higher self, but they're not. It's like an unconscious integration, which is not the right way to do it. They've got no light body established. You haven't done it correctly. And what's actually going on is like unconscious programming at the age of Aquarius level, right? Age of Aquarius, return of divine feminine, and you got all these bitch men. You think it's all a coincidence? I don't. So what I'm saying is that the cosmic energies are affecting them unconsciously. They don't integrate it correctly. They've got mismanaged schemata. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to, because I want to get back to the point. Basically, the point is that they act like females here. And they cycle more, right? Females are cycling more. I find a real man can perturb cycles better than a bitch man. Man, every time I get the pump at the gym, I'm perturbing my existing entire body. Every time I take a psychedelic or have a psychedelic vision, you know what I mean? Many examples, but I think you get the point. So all I'm saying is if we push Mgtow to the nth degree, it automatically makes them fall in their position. And that's not a bad thing or anything, right? But you'll find that they won't want to go there because the robots are going to be in that position too. And like I've said, organic portals in general are placeholders for the robots. All spiritless humans, they're all placeholders for the robots. They're just placeholders. Just think of how they don't add nothing to the world, and think of it in the sentence when you're signing a form and you have to write something and there's a line there like a placeholder, like that, right? We call them nothing in there, nobody's fucking in there, right? Spiritless humans. So yeah, look, what I'm saying is they automatically have to fall in line, and you know that's going to be in our favor and to their demise, right? Because robots are also in that position and females are there, so they're either going to have to rise up or fucking die, right? Just like everything else. And I mean, that's the whole survival of the fittest thing in there. There's some psychopathy in it, and hey, I didn't create the rules, you know what I mean? All I was trying to say was relate it to the Mgtow movement, because why are we doing this? So now I want to get into saying, well, why are we doing it? It's not for no fap. You people are fucking disgust me with your shitness. People are like, oh, no fap, right? No masturbating, which means no spudgeric, and unking, no energy circulation, no less CNS arousal, which means less Wu G force, top Chan Chen, which is the upper Tan Chen, which is where cosmic thinking occurs, right? Because everybody talks about Qi in the belly and Shen from the heart. Oh, we're going to have more heart. Man, these bitch men don't need more heart. They need Wu Ji. And they need some Qi in the beginning. So, anyway, look, point is, it's like how I said, DMT is high burn fuel. Not everybody makes it to DMT. Not everybody has sleep melatonin. Not melanin, but melatonin comes before, right? Comes after bufotenin, which is almost like a dopamine feeling, like a buffet. 5-HTP is quite alluring in my opinion. And you get CNS arousal like on the mushrooms or ayahuasca, right? This is DMT, NN5 DMT, like you have in your brain, if you can make it. You see what I'm saying? They can't all make it. They'd be fucking flatlining out here. They'd be dead as shit, dead walking zombie people. They're weak, they're dead, and they're fucking dumb. Hey, I'm just speaking the truth. I don't give a fuck what you think at this point of the channel, because people pay me, so it doesn't even matter anymore. And the videos are backed up, so they ain't going nowhere. Yeah, so some of them, they can't create the DMT, right? What was I saying? What was the other thing? I was thinking about other, oh yeah, CNS arousal. And look, while I realize that you know, it takes a lot of nutrition to create like a packet of sperm, right? It takes an incredible amount of nutrition just to create one load of good sperm. I have read about that, I get it, someone said it to me. I said yes, I already knew that. It takes a lot to, like, and when I come more, I eat more as well. And it'll be when I'm active as well. I'll be training and stuff as well. Because your testosterone's lifting, your CNS is going, so you are just hornier, right? And at that point, you can circulate it and you can stay in a type of androgen heightening and adrenaline shaking. Cortisol can come into it and you can get too stressed, and then you want to come, right? You want to orgasm, and then you'll calm down and it'll be more dopamine and stuff instead of the cortisol starting up and stuff like that. So that's one reason that I do that, because I'm often doing it after rigorous study, Like, I'm talking hours of reading and stuff like that, right? And computer typing. Your brain uses 30% of all your body's energy, right? I think you can understand the sort of situation that I'm talking about. Plus, there's a lot of guys getting a lot of prostate cancer, and that's a gunking up. They definitely need to be using it more. I remember when I was younger and I did no fap for a while, and I had like green cum, and I was like, oh fuck, this shit can go off. It was like, and it gets more yellow and stuff, right? I swear it can go off. So I don't think it's a good idea just to hold your load and do no fap just for a month for no reason. If you don't need to do it for a month, 21 days is really the max. That sacred 21-day thing, it's how long you fast if you can handle it. Anyway, so you don't need to be doing no fap for the rest of your life. There's also things that you can learn from like Mgtow and Taoism to do with the microcosmic orbit and how to pull the lingam. Also, obviously, from the Brahmin and stuff, right, in India. All those guys will teach you about pulling the lingam correctly and stuff. Anyway, it's kind of weird to talk about, but without orgasming. So you're pulling the lingam without orgasming. But in my opinion, man, if I do that, I've got too much energy, man. I'm coming. I'm definitely going to be orgasming. But for the dead guys, for the organic portal guys, this is like the best advice they've ever fucking found. And so they're all over it, right? Because they got fucking low energy. Because when you have a light body, you have more energy. That's why my lymph system is so clear. I have a lot of chi. I can't sit still, right? And it's not just, ooh, ADHD, and that's attention dialed to higher dimensions. So it comes into play, but that's not the reason for it. That's not etologically why they've got energy, right? Like the deficit disorder part, you know what I mean? That they say. I've got a deficit of the mundane plane and being bored. That's all that part is. So don't take Ritalin. It gives you a grey aura, by the way, kids. Sell it to people. It's got speed in it. Sell it to the organic portals like a drug. Anyway, so look, my point is, yeah, for them, no fap's fantastic. They've got no energy. They need to be saving it up. Need to be doing no fap. For me, if I do no fap for 3 days, I'm good. Or a week. Like, fuck doing it any longer. Oh, I'll be running around like a fucking hummingbird. You know, like a hummingbird on just such a high vibration. Like, you know, people can't stand you, man. You know what I mean? I'm already fucking, people can't stand me. Too high energy, right? So I don't need to go much more, man. I'm good. I can fast automatic type. I'm fine like this. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, for them, yeah, fantastic. But that's not the reason you do no fap. For nobody. It's meant to be spiritual, right? It's not just to work out to get, you know, because you got more energy, get bigger muscles. So I'm doing no fap. Look at my body after a month. Yeah, it'll help. Right? You're maintaining certain hormonal levels for longer, and you know, stuff like that. I get it, but that's not the reason you're meant to do it. You're meant to do it for spiritual reasons, right? For the CNS energy, which is telesentient spinal fluid. And I'm definitely not going to be talking about all that in this video. And the Christ oil, right? And by the way, in that video they didn't mention vitamin D in the sacred spinal secretion fluid video, where they talk about the Christ oil. Well, if you want to talk about oil, right, I always go to the beach, because there's 4 vitamin Ds, right? The vitamin Ds. It's not just vitamin D and then that's it. And you don't want to be eating them. You don't want to be getting it from a fish secondhand. You go in the sun and you get vitamin D spectrum. All it is creating your own oil instead of getting rancid old oil. What the process of creation of vitamin D is an oil creation. In nature, we get sweet water. I'm going to give you guys a hint, because I'm not giving all my consultations for free. But in nature, you get sweet water, It mixes with things. It goes into trees. You get xylitol, right? You get simple saccharide sugars. Then it mixes into polysaccharides, multiple saccharides. You get complex beta-glucans in mushrooms hanging off that tree, right? And you can get oils. It's in saps, these polysaccharides. But polysaccharide is just before oil. So if you're out in the sun, you're creating vitamin D, you're creating something strong, and it's a high burn thing. It's like, you know, you put oil in your car for that reason. It can burn better, right? That's just the nature of oil in general. So when you're creating the Christ oil, then you can create more DMT. You can sustain the higher vibration for longer, so on and so forth. You have better myelin sheath, electrical induction and conduction, right? So vitamin D is not just like you get vitamin A. These things are, that's why I like it when they call it steroidal hormone D, not vitamin, because it's really in a different class and it's doing a different thing due to its oiliness and its thickness and what you can do with it. Anyway, so I mean, for instance, the Christ oil isn't called the Christ vitamin. just to drill it in. All right, so I'm getting a bit off track, right? So the whole reason to do NoFap is not just to create more sperm, which gives you more spargiric energy. Have you seen when a sperm enters an egg, you get a zinc flash, right? The mineral zinc. You get a big flash, and that's zinc. And people go, oh, that's life. I thought it was magnesium. And then I see zinc flashing, and I'm like, oh, yeah, interesting. What do I see? All the birds eating? Ants off the beach. A lot of animals eat a lot of ants. They're the highest zinc creature, highest zinc containing thing in nature. Am I saying eat ants? Fuck yeah. Fucking oath, I've eaten ants myself. In Uruguay, I sat by ant nests and I ate ants. And I did feel more powerful. I've got to be honest. It takes a few minutes, it takes a few ants, but you'll feel it. Just like if you're sitting in the sun. Anyway, so all these things, like NoFap is the same thing. Yes, it's to get stronger, right? But people are forgetting the spiritual aspect of it. So instead of just working outward at the gym, go within, go meditate with your NoFap energy, right? Anyway, so back to the main storyline, because I thought that was worth mentioning. But back to the main storyline, right? Mgtow. Men going their own way. So instead of being a bitch man and sitting down and talking with the guys about sport, I'm out here getting vitamin D. Right? I'm out in the forest at night meditating. If I live in an apartment, I become weaker within a few months. I'm so much stronger in nature, I'll tell you what. I'm such a little guy. I'm only like 5'10" or 5'11". And I kick the shit out of people as soon as I want to kick the shit out of them. Just like Bruce Lee. I'm not even fucking like that. I'm not even a martial artist, you know what I mean? It's something different when you have a light body. That's what I'm trying to say. And for us to fix society at all, which I don't think we even should be bothering with, because it's the end of history. So I'm not a social justice warrior at all. Fuck that. Because I think it's the end of history. We're going to something completely new. It's a different ontos, a different ontological relationship to the place that we're in. It's not the same thing. We won't have society soon. Social welfare won't be there. So I've got to get my shit together, because at the moment I'm on social welfare. But that's because I'm being held down by fucking organic portals. I always get problems in jobs from them, right? Because they know they're weak, so they talk against you. They're like bitches. They become bitch men when I work alongside them. They start, like, you know when you look at a woman and you're with your girl and you just notice a beautiful woman, and then she starts tracking your eyes for the rest of the fucking relationship. You can look no other woman. You know what I mean? they're always going to leave me and shit, right? But there's an AI tracker online in a video, someone done it. It's very natural. They have a YouTube video on it. But my point is, your woman will start to do that. Men will start to do that to me. I couldn't care less. It's a lot of effort to look where someone's looking and try and figure out why they're looking at it. But bitch men do that, just like women do that. They start looking at where you're looking and shit. You know what I mean? And this is frequency control. This is neurotic. It can't get worse. You're trying to track someone else. You do yourself. You don't do someone else. You know what I mean? So they're definitely bitch men, and they definitely do all this. So for this all to fall in line, all we have to do is set higher standards. It's not even that difficult. Right? Hold on, I'll wait for the women to go so I don't offend them. And that's a point, man. Women get so offended so fucking easily. I'd rather wait for them to go past so I can say stuff freely. It's frequency control. So all of society is feminized. Oh, what did he say? Doesn't matter what he said. Come from the universe. You know what I mean? They're trying to censor reality. This shit is whack. It's way out of... It's just ridiculous. So, you know, I find men that do this are organic portals. I don't find real men doing this. They don't waste their time. Energy efficiency is a major thing because there's only a few hours in the day, right? So you have to get your energy schemata in order. But yeah, I find these men, you know, they look at you like that too in jobs. They start trying to fucking control you, control freaking, right? And look, there's a point to make about like physical body as well. We can't skip it because it's a reflection of your mental state and your emotional state. Because everybody knows emotional eating, right? We all know that emotional eating can help. It makes you forget shit, right? You can sit on a couch and eat some shit for a while and get, you know, dopamine and this, that and the other and endorphins and silence the parasites and so on, right? And feel better, right? But you haven't addressed no problem. Oh look, they even swerve in. No criminal record, don't forget, not even a criminal record, man. But this is a great example of feminized society, that I'm monitored all the time. Like everywhere I go, look, and they're swerving out. Can you see them? I don't know if you guys can catch that, but they swerved in and they go back out. They definitely look at me. And as soon as I have my signal on, there'll be like more planes. Anyway, so look, controlling other people is family of dark. Using your will over another is family of dark. We can't dismiss that. It's in every fucking movie everywhere. Haven't you been paying attention? And I find that these men try and do that. These so-called men, right? These bitch men. Like in my last job as sales representative for that Kirby vacuum. It's a $6,000 vacuum. And I was making as many bookings as them, and they've been there for a month. Team leader sends this douchebag into, like, he's made one sale in a month. I'm there for a week. I'm already made a sale in my first booking, and he's trying to tell me what to do condescendingly, intransitively, and I'm like, yep, no, fucking stop it. And then he would have rung up, said I was rude. All I said was fucking stop it. He starts going, don't talk like that in front of the customer. Man, I had a really good rapport with this old lady. She might have even bought the machine, and he wrecked the rapport, which their company policy stated not to do. Yet I got in trouble because he's an organic portal and he whinges like a little bitch. And that's what they want. They're not looking for you to make their company into a megastar company. They think they know the way. They just want a subservient serf. That's all they want, man. They just want someone to be a weak fucking subordinate. That's what a lot of the times where I can tell, even with my resume, I don't get a job. It's called overqualification if you want to be a fuckhead about it. Like, if you want to be a numbnut about it, right? But it's not even that. They can tell that you think for yourself, and unless they're going to put you in a high management position, you're not going to go well in a subordinate role, so they don't even hire you. You're a free thinker, they can tell, basically, right? But then, so, you know, all real men really need to have their own business. You can't be working for someone else, right? Well, then you're a bitch to someone else. Like, it's how it is. You take their orders. The primary spiritual masculine way is giving the order. That's this primary spiritual matrix, the seeding of ideas into this place and everything. We see it over and over again. I mean, I speak for every fucking man that's ever lived and how they act. I didn't make it up. I didn't make the rules. I'm just noticing the pattern. And I can't believe that they don't, and that they are the majority. Because again, it's not just if they're a small stature or something, you know what I mean? It's you know, the own mental spirit light body is what it comes down to. Being a spiritless human, or you know, having your own mental spirit multi-dimensional light body. And people have that in certain different degrees. Like some of you with a soul, with a higher soul, you got it to some degree. If you work out, you'll pump up your light body even more. If you get your Luz, which is light, right, your Luz schemata in order, you're actually fixing your light body. Schemata is, you know, geometry is a dimension. It's its own dimension, the sixth dimension. So it's part of the whole deal to get your schemata of the world correct. And I find that they don't. Their schemata is conformity. They can't hold a conversation on what's going on around them. Only to the point of the Higgs boson science, right? They can't even have a quantum fucking conversation, and they love science. I've tried this, man. I'm like, oh yeah, science, all right, yeah, I know that shit too, so let's talk about that. And then they fail as soon as it gets into the quantum stuff. Because that's where it becomes spiritual. When we hit the quantum, right? Even Stuart Hameroff, co-director of Consciousness Institute, right? The anesthesiologist from Down the Rabbit Hole, What the Bleep Do We Know, that movie from 2006 with those scientists. You had Joe Spinoza in there and shit. What was her name? Jay-Z Knight Ramtha. She's a spirited woman, I've mentioned her before, right? That was a good video. My point is, he created a theory, right? At the microtubular level is where the soul is. Now, I laughed and I said that's an imprint, but I'm actually starting to think about it as a moving thing, and so maybe he's completely correct. And I was just being a little bit arrogant by saying it's only an imprint, because I was thinking of spirit incarnating on behalf of soul and some other stuff. So yeah, anyway, point is he has a theory, you know, of microtubules which sit below the neurons, right? So again, you see the neurons as the boson level, the macro level, the physical level, right? The measurable level, since we can't measure the quantum stuff, apparently. It's all spooky and weird, right? And moving, that's the point. And again, that reiterates right down to how they seem unmoving and dead. You see, this shit all connects up, and I've just done a very thorough job of thinking about this, which has taken a lot of Wu-Ji and a lot of energy. So yeah, I do admit, like, when you know FAP, you can meditate, like, harder. Remember, it's like when you take a psychedelic, you get more CNS arousal, and it's like an escalator into the underworld instead of walking down steps slowly meditating alone. Like, if you take psychedelics and meditate, it's better. You penetrate deeper and faster, which actually the speed seems to me to have relativity to energetic domain perturbation, right? Or why are we using DMT? Why is it such a high burn thing? Why is it so ephemeral? Have you had a DMT trip? The thing itself is quick. It's even Salvia divinorum reiterates this. It's milligram effective like DMT, Salvia divinorum, Salvia A, and it's also a very quick thing. They're very volatile, right? It's like crypto versus trading blue chips. You know what I mean? They have careers in other people's businesses instead of making their own entrepreneurial advents. I mean, there's a difference. And so if, women would stop fucking about until they're a real man, that'd be really helpful. You know what I mean? The women need to know this shit too. Right? Because all that's happening in the monkey society is, does he look big? Maybe they feel safety around them and shit, right? Most of these women are going for simps. I think we can all agree they're mostly going for simps. And as soon as you're a real man, it's quite difficult, actually. Because you've got to start becoming a simp to even fucking meet them at their level. You know what I mean? Or you're too rude. Or you're too much. Do you know how many times I've gotten girls' numbers just because I was too much? They gave the number just to get rid of me. They were keen and shit, but then later they're like, "What? I don't even know him. Why did I give him my number?" You know what I mean? Like, talk about confusion, man, and getting roused up. Like, not holding your own mind through a situation seems very mindless to me. Anyway. So, look, the whole Mgtow movement, if we push it to the nth degree, I think it lines all this stuff up. I think you guys can see what I'm saying, right? It takes care of this stuff. But, I mean, we've got to really push because there's a lot of people in this world, right? And, money's a factor and stuff. My point is, like I said before, like, a lot of girls will maybe go for a big guy. They might think, oh, well, that's great. It symbolizes things. Like he has enough money to build that muscle in the first place. Right? Stuff like that as well. So there's undercover subconscious things going on with that I've got big issues with, philosophically. And that's what I'm trying to say, that organic portal men can use money to disguise their spiritless state. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Because if there was no money, right, and it was just a nature system, and the real man's training all day, and he's a big real man, and he has women like giving him stuff and food and shit, because he can take care of all these people, chief ideal, chief position and stuff, which is often a shaman, by the way, just rubbing it in. My point is, he grew like a Hercules figure, you know what I mean? But he didn't do it because of money, you know what I mean? And like when you couple that with how they oppress you for non-conformity, you can see how as a gang they stalk real men into oppression, right, with hating and so on, which is emotional body shitness. Can't even fucking control, like that's Leviathan is jealousy, you know what I mean? They're snakes, that's why they act like fucking snakes, right? And they get all prideful. Lucifer is pride, right? And they get all prideful and shit. Like we fall into that because it's a falling matrix. To create here, you have to be falling, and you have to go through the ego devils, right? Ego is the basis of all this shithole. My point is, they're only that. I keep saying that over and over again. They're only that, right? Because they're spiritless humans. Anyway, so my point is, if we do Mgtow properly, a lot of stuff will fall in place. That's all I was saying. It's not some completing the world lecture. I'm just saying what a lot of people, connecting a few dots, because a lot of people have disparate viewpoints and perspectives of Mgtow, of NoFap, and where does it even fit into spirituality at all. So I thought I'd help you guys out. So you better press the fucking like button, eh? Be appreciative.